One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
A range of public officials across the country. Over the past 3.5 years, there has been an escalation of attacks on the Justice Department's career lawyers, agents, and other personnel that go far beyond scrutiny, criticism, and legitimate and necessary oversight of our work. These attacks have come in the form of conspiracy theories, dangerous falsehoods, efforts to bully and intimidate career public servants by repeatedly and publicly singling them out, and threats of actual violence. Through your work, you have made clear that the Justice Department will not be intimidated by these attacks. But it is dangerous and outrageous that you have to endure them. It is dangerous to target and intimidate individual employees of this department solely for doing their jobs. And it is outrageous that you have to face these unfounded attacks because you are doing what is right and upholding the rule of law. You deserve better. You deserve gratitude for a range of public officials across the country. Over the past 3.5 years, there has been an escalation of attacks on the Justice Department's career lawyers, agents, and other personnel that go far beyond scrutiny, criticism, and legitimate and necessary oversight of our work.
I just wanted you to hear that. I wanted you to hear it twice. Because to me, what you just heard Merrick Garland say is probably the biggest indicator of who actually won the debate. You see, Trump said some things during the debate that pissed some people off. What is this? Is that my microphone? Yeah, I pushed that back. That pissed some people off. And it caused a reaction by Merrick Garland to come out and say, no, we're not doing what the big bad orange man says. We're not out here just, prosecuting our opponent. We're not weaponizing anything. And it's absolutely false. We know he is. So as you're looking at that, you have to understand at this point, and I'm going to go through a bunch of this, is that these people are back on their heels right now. You can see it. There would be no reason for Merrick Garland to make a statement following the debate to come out and say, well, we're not doing that. Well, if you're not doing it, then what are you worried about? Those of you who have been around since the old days understand what the Streisand effect is. If you guys don't know what Streisand effect is, I would, basically I'm looking here in the comments, and you guys can tell me what the Streisand effect is. Basically, she said some things a couple of years ago where people weren't paying attention, and then by you saying something, you're amplifying it, and people go, well, why'd you say it if it wasn't true? Now we need to dig further. So what I'm going to do today, and trust me, it's probably different than anything you've ever seen. But before then, let me apologize for yesterday, because a lot of people are like, Barry, where are you? What are you doing, Barry? We can't find you. No, we're looking around. What's up with the videos? And they're like, what's going on? And all I can say is, y'all know me. I always wait at least 24 hours to see how the dust settles. So I didn't rush to post anything about the debate yesterday. Unlike some people out there on YouTube, I don't need to chase views, and I don't need to chase clicks. Mainly because I have all of you beautiful people who come in and give me the opportunity to speak with you. But believe me, I got a ton of emails and DMs. So now I think it's about time I speak to you about this debate. Let me break it down for you in a way that no one else probably has until right now. And I'm going to break it down issue by issue. And when you look at it specifically that way, when you're following and someone's allowing you to basically go issue by issue, it's easy to see who actually won the debate. So let's talk about issue number 1. This issue is basically something everyone is always talking about. I told you before the debate, this would be a big issue with the media. And that's baby removal. They always have to bring up baby removal. It's such a lame issue right now. I don't understand it. This was, and you guys have to accept this, this was a win for Kamala going in, if you want to call it a win. You see, we don't have to know what's going on. We don't have to want it, and we know that they find it to be a religious experience. So there's no surprise that Trump was going to look bad about baby removal. There was nothing that can be won. This is a Democrat issue. It is their religion. Stop trying to gauge everything about the comebacks and zingers about baby removal. I don't care if he quoted Ralph Northam and said Ralph Northam said this, and then Kamala could laugh at him and say, no, it didn't happen. It doesn't matter. It 100% doesn't matter. Why does it not matter? Well, I think all of you are prudent enough to know you are not going to convince somebody out of their religion. Not going to happen. At this point, baby removal is their religion. They will do anything. They will drive hundreds of miles so that they can have baby removal. Those of us who are pro-life, on the other hand, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to get me to come to your side. There is no middle ground. There will never be any middle ground. So why even have it as a debate issue? Because there is no win and loss. And I'm tired of having to talk about it. Y'all want it, we don't. And at this point, there really is nothing to talk about. It's in the state's hands. If you want to take it, senator by senator or house person by house person, yeah, fair game. Talk about how these people in those local states are going to vote. As of right now, the Supreme Court has said that this is going to be a states' rights issue. Let's take it off the tables. Can I scratch this one? I'm going to scratch this one. Being that it's a state rights issue, I don't care if Kamala lied, and I don't care if Trump lied. It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be convinced otherwise. I think I speak for every single one of you people who are pro-life. You're like, no, they're not going to convince me it's okay. Exactly. And you're never going to convince them that it's not okay. So that's an issue in America at this point that we cannot come together on. It's sort of like talking to two people about a divorce. Husband says, I want this. The wife says she wants that. All right, let's mediate. Let's come to an agreement. Well, you can have the car on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I'll have the car on Thursdays and Fridays. Okay, that's something to talk about. Well, I want it on Saturdays. I want the RV on Sunday. Oh, we can discuss that. Give me the car and sign it over to me. There's nothing to discuss. That's never happening. Not gonna happen. We can figure out a way to share it and make it mutually agreeable, but I'm not giving you the car. That's a very facetious and topical discussion about baby removal. I don't know why the media keeps bringing it up, because there's nothing to discuss. It's not going to happen. And if you want to say that Trump wanted to put a national ban on, once the guy said no, oh, you want to put a national ban on it according to Project 2025? Nope, I don't. It could have been literally a 2-minute conversation. You want to have it up to this point, right? Yes. I don't want it at all. All right, so you know where we stand. Can we just go now? Can we go to the next thing? Can we just make sense and leave that? And let's go ahead and cross this one off the list as well, all right? No one on either side budged, nor will anyone ever budge, because it's a religion. You need to understand that. Whether it's a major issue for independents, however, is yet to be seen. We'll find that out. Issue number 2, climate change. Can we put baby disposal in the same category as climate change? I mean, seriously. Yes, it's another sacrament for the Democrats. And no one, I mean absolutely no one on the right, well, maybe no one, is going to budge on climate change. I live in South Florida. I have a decent-sized house. I run my air conditioning. I have a pool where it cools in the summer and heats in the winter, so we can use the pool. We like the comforts of our home. That's how we decide we want to live. I drive 2 SUV gas-powered vehicles. Am I going to change? Nope. I do my little recycling on Thursdays when the garbage guy comes up, and we put the aluminum cans, if we have any, or any plastic bottles, but it's not changing my life. We shop for what we want to shop for, we buy what we want to buy, and we dispose of things according to what the trash can says. Fine. You have it. That's another one of your sacraments. So we're going to cross this one off the list and say, you can win climate change. Fine? Fine. Issue number 3, on the other hand, is the Second Amendment. And even this isn't something that needs to be discussed. Barry, why is that? Well, unless they amend the Constitution, by maybe stacking the court or doing something, but to amend the Constitution requires a huge, overwhelming amount of support. 2/3, 66%. of the people in Congress are going to have to vote for an amendment to the Constitution. That ain't happening. It just likely is not happening. And anything she would try to do with an executive order, it may take a few months for it to go through this thing, and then, they're going to toss it out. I know some states have local bans where they say you can't do this and you can't do that, and Florida's an open carry state. But other than that, I think we can take the Second Amendment, even though she has said, I want to ban, I can't say the word, ARs. Ain't gonna happen. You ain't banning crap. You may try to. You may even put it out there that, that it may happen, but then it's going to go to court and get tossed out, like it always does. So, can we please stop talking about the Second Amendment and what you think you're going to do and what you think you're not going to do? You might eventually, give us a hard time, but it doesn't matter. It's not something that's going to change, at least not in the next 4 years. moot issue. I wish people would realize that, because other than the local states trying something, you're not going to do anything with a local buyback or confiscation. Can we all agree that's a live nut pipe dream at best? You're not going to go out into the hills of this country, knock on doors, and expect to walk into people's houses and confiscate their weaponry. Nope, ain't gonna happen. Everybody has to sit back right now, left and right, and realize you can chirp, you can tweet, you can do anything you want, but that's a lib nut pipe dream. It's never gonna happen. So I'm gonna scratch that off the list here, all right? So we can move on. Issue number 4 is healthcare. And these are in no particular order. Just want you to make you understand. I just put them down. And right now, we're stuck with Obamacare, and you have whatever. If you're not on Obamacare, you have whatever you've chosen to buy. That's where it is. Sorry, that's where it is. Kamala, with her Marxist mindset, obviously wants to have state-run health care. And Trump failed to state a clear plan for overturning Obamacare. As he said, very honestly, which I think is a plus for him, I don't have a firm plan yet to overturn it, but we're going to work on it. Okay, fine with me. Is it bad that he wants to work on overturning Obamacare? Any idiot who listened to what he said would realize no, because what he said was, we will overturn it if we can find something better. Nobody should have any problem with that. If we can find something better. If I can't find something better, I'm going to leave it. That should be a plus for him, because he's telling you the truth. I'm not going to change it if I don't find something better. So at this point, Obamacare is the law of the land, and nobody is talking about actually overturning it or making it worse, except Kamala Harris. She lied, but I'm not grading on lies right now. She said she doesn't want to touch it, and she's okay with insurance. We know what she said in the past, but in this debate, absent basically turning her head around and flip-flopping, but in this debate, she said, I want to keep it as is. I'm not going to take away your private insurance, and Trump said, I'm not going to take away Obamacare. So to me, that's a draw. Hey, I'm going to leave it as is. Hey, I'm going to leave it as is. Didn't you both just say the damn same thing? I mean, were people actually listening? Forget all the blah, 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 and the funny looks and all the shit she did, but you said the same thing. What are you going to do, Kamala? Well, we're going to make sure health care is affordable, and we want to keep Obamacare. Okay, what are you going to do, Trump? I'm going to leave Obamacare unless I can find something better. So the answer to the question was, you're both leaving it as is. Right? I mean, you could say she lied, you could say he lied, but what they stated was they both believed the same thing. And I'm sitting here watching it with you guys, and I watched it again with Robin. I'm like, didn't they just both say the same thing? Why are people saying, oh, she got him on that one? No, she didn't. So I'm going to mark that off as a draw, okay? So you need to shut up. But sorry about that. That's my Chihuahua. Midas, you want to come on camera? Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me show people. A lot of people say, where's that little Mexican? I get a lot of DMs from people who wanted to see my buddy. Say, hi, buddy. I'm terrified. I got stage fright. Get me off camera. Oh, crap. Oh, that's my buddy. Quick growl and go lay down. All right, where was I? Scratching off this list here. That was for you guys who have emailed me and DM'd me like they wanted to see the little dog. That's him. So there's really, when you break it down and you take those off the table, there's really only a few issues left for us to discuss. I'm being pragmatic here. I'm a Trump supporter. I am voting for Trump. Unequivocally, Trump is my guy. But I'm being pragmatic here. I'm going through my list and scratching stuff off here, all right? So let's talk about these other issues. Issue number 5 is immigration, which she's a complete failure at. Issue number 6 is the economy, which she's a complete failure at. Unfortunately for Kamala, the economy is also the number one issue for all Americans. So if she fails on the number one issue for all Americans, how could she possibly have won the debate? That's like saying, I didn't score enough touchdowns, but I didn't get that many penalties. I beat you on, you had more penalties than I had, but he scored more touchdowns. Yeah, I understand that's 6 points, but I didn't hold, or I didn't have any pass interferences, so I won the debate, and I talked better, and I looked good, and I smirked. But the number one issue we all know you fail on. You fail on the economy. The number one question of the debate, which I'm going to get to later, you punted. You absolutely punted. So I'm going to give Trump that. Issue number 6 is foreign affairs and national security. Obviously, she's been a complete failure at that as well. And everyone on the planet knows that all of those issues are the issues that Trump curb stomps her with. She can't talk about national security. She can't talk about the economy. She just possibly can't. She's a complete failure. She can't talk about immigration. I don't care if people are trying to debate whether or not cats are being eaten or not. The crux, as she likes to say, root cause. The root cause is why the hell these people in Springfield, Ohio. Forget the fact of whether they're chomping on, mittens, or if they're, gaggling with goose and eating them. Forget that. Those are side issues. The main issue is, hey, Kamala, why are there 20 or 30,000 Haitians in Springfield, Ohio? All the other stuff, if you go to a nice fancy dinner, Robert and I went to a nice fancy dinner in a restaurant called Chima down here. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. If you've never been to a Brazilian steakhouse, actually this one's a kind of different. This is a top flight Brazilian steakhouse. I'm just telling you, it's a class above. And they come to your table and they slice the meat and everything. It's friggin' fantastic. But they have a giant bar with everything from soups to couscous to rice to different kinds of salads, breads, all kinds of stuff. And every time we go, I'm like, look at these fools. They're filling up on the filler. They're eating like lots of bread. They're eating, no, man, I get a little salad on the side. Bring the meat. Bring it. I want the stuff that really matters to me. And when I'm looking at a debate, I'm looking for the meat. I don't care. I do care. It kills me, being that I love this little dog. It would drive me absolutely bat poop crazy if somebody was eating cats and eating dogs. I feel for these residents who have to deal with everything that they're having to deal with. It's scary. But the fact of the matter, the fact, the thing that people aren't concentrating on, that YouTubers aren't making videos on, they're all talking about cats being eaten, gooses being eaten, geese being eaten, all this horrible stuff. The fact at the debate and afterwards should have been, the problem is there's 20,000 people that you stuck in this community. Why did you do that? That's what people aren't paying attention to. Stop with all the bread and circuses shit. Focus on what actually means something. Because once you focus on that, you realize everything. And then there's one huge issue that no one charts. No one takes a poll on. Not a single person that I know of on YouTube makes videos about. Probably because they would be taken down. It's never on Twitter except for from a couple people. You never see it on CNN. You never see it on MSNBC. You never see it on ABC. None of them talk about it. But it's probably the biggest issue for Trump, RFK Jr., and Elon Musk. And that would be the absolute destruction of the so-called deep state. You just saw the head, or one of the titular heads of the deep state, Merrick Garland. He had to run out there and protect his boys. he had to run out there and say, hey, we're not doing it. Hey, what Trump said, that guy said is some bunch of BS. We're not getting in the way. We're not weaponizing the lawfare and all kinds of stuff. Yet I understand we've indicted him about 99,000 times. I understand we kicked in the door at Mar-a-Lago. Blah, blah, blah. The deep state is terrified of Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and Elon Musk. Those three guys with Tulsi would absolutely destroy the deep state. So I'm going to challenge you and give you some homework right now. I want you to go ahead and go to the websites of MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC News, Newsmax, and look at all of them. And go to their search bar and search for deep state. And see how many entries come up for the deep state. Telling you, notice how that never comes up in any debate. Never. Notice how it never comes up on any news broadcast. Ever. It's so bad that the Democrats can't even discuss it. It is the third rail of politics. It is probably the most important thing in our country right now, and it never gets discussed. You have to think to yourself at some point, why is that? Why is this the third rail? Why is the deep state, censorship, and lawfare the number one issue of everything in the United States right now, and it's never discussed? That's something you have to sit back and go, wait a minute. Yeah, they never talk about that. Nope, they never will. It's terrifying for them. They don't know what to say. But believe it or not, taking down the deep state is the single biggest issue in this election, and no one wants to talk about it. But just because they don't talk about it doesn't mean people ignore it. You know, people want to know about JFK. It's been, 1963, so we're talking 61 years. We don't know anything. People want to know about RFK Sr. People want to know about Martin Luther King. People want to know who shot Trump, what happened. Merrick Garland comes out here today and gives a speech about, hey, we're doing everything, we're doing great, but he and Christopher Wray, and now we've got people in the Secret Service resigning, taking early retirement. Hey, but nobody wants to talk about this? Who shot Trump? Who was he talking to on his cell phone? Why do we not know? Why, when Trump raised that at the debate, hey man, I got shot. Okay, we're gonna go on to something else right now. No, hell no. We're not going on to something else right now. We have watched JFK. We have watched RFK. We have watched, whether you like it or not, Malcolm X. We have watched Martin Luther King. And then we just saw Trump get shot on live television, and we can't talk about any of them. The news is not allowed to bring up, hey, what the hell happened here? What's going on? Nope, can't talk about it. Why? Why can't we talk about it? Why did they run from that discussion when Trump brought up, hey, somebody shot me? Why did Melania make a tape? I don't know if you've seen it, but Melania made a video, and she's like, hey man, someone needs to get to the bottom of who shot my husband. And you get guys like Don Lemon who are making mocking videos. It's not funny. It's not to be mocked. Their reactions tell you everything. Merrick Garland coming out and defending the deep state, and a bunch of people mocking Melania for wanting to know who shot her husband. They won't talk about it. Media, as I've been saying, it is the third rail. I think also people want to know about UFOs and visitations. I'm a big boy. You can tell me if people are flying in here. If there's a secret airport for the UFOs, let me know. I'm not going to freak out. My wife always asks me, she goes, what, doesn't this UFO stuff interest you? Not really. Two reasons why UFO stuff doesn't interest me. One, if it was a danger or a threat, there's probably not much we can do about it. I can't take out the Jimmy and start shooting at a UFO flying around the country. More than likely, if there's UFOs, which I think there are, if they wanted us to be harmed, you think we'd still be sitting here? Or are they looking down going, these people messed up. Look at these ants. These guys are bad. We don't want nothing to part with this. But, let's hang out and walk around, check it out. Maybe we can eat some cows or something. So no, UFOs don't scare me. Except for the fact of why aren't you telling us about them? Why is that even a secret? Wait, why isn't there a ticker on the bottom of CNN at night going, oh, today we've had 425 encounters with UFOs in the last 6 weeks, and the number seems to be growing? What would happen if people knew that UFOs were flying around? Would you freak out? I'd love to, I'm going to pause. I want to hear from you. Would you freak out if you thought UFOs were zipping around out here? Would it scare you? Would it pique your interest? Would you like to go? My wife's like, I'd go with them. Sorry, I love you, but I got to go check out the interplanetary travel. What about the butt probe? I'm serious. I asked her about that. I said, what if the butt probe? You going to do all that too? And she's like, well, no, I wouldn't want that, but it would be cool, like zip around the universe. YouTube Enjoyer here says, make sure he goes, I've seen them. Yep, I believe you. Nope, people aren't afraid. Not afraid of them. It's so funny. People are like, no, I'm not afraid. I know. Yeah, you want to know more. To me, having watched all kinds of sci-fi all my life, I'm like, I want to know what they're doing. How'd they check it out? You ever look at the stealth bomber? I don't know if you've ever seen a stealth bomber. I've had a couple different air shows down here in South Florida, and one when it first came out, it flew from Montana or wherever, flew all the way into South Florida, circled until it was time to come on stage basically, and it flew across the beach. And I just went, oh my God, look at that thing. I don't know if you've ever seen one. And I immediately turned to my wife and went, that's a UFO spaceship. And I don't mean the actual thing. I'm like, they found something. It landed somewhere. And some scientists and engineers went, well, we need to build one of these. I mean, if you see the shape of this thing, I'm like, that looks like something in a movie like with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. It looked like that thing. So no, I wasn't afraid. I'm like, well, tell us. There's no shame in the game in talking about where, if you got some UFO based type stuff. But no, they won't talk about that. And that leads me to the last thing. The people will never know anything about this if the Dems and the media have their way. You see, this is what they fear. They fear your knowledge. They fear an intelligent population. That's why they'll put people like Joy Reid the clown on television. That's why they'll fill the news with all the puppies and, barbecues and stuff like that. Because the real issues, they don't want you to talk about. You see, the real issues tell you who's really winning. The debate is just more bread and circuses BS. I don't care about fake earrings. I must have gotten 50 emails about, Kamala was wearing the fake earrings. And she was televising answers. I'm going to let the other YouTubers out there waste their time pushing that crap. I don't care if she was wearing fake earrings. It doesn't matter because I already know that the issues that matter, Trump stopped her on. Doesn't matter. All the other stuff, if you needed earpiece to talk about baby removal, then you're stupider than most people think. But even getting the information, she couldn't talk about immigration. She couldn't talk about national security, foreign policy. She couldn't talk about the economy because there's nothing they can say in her ear that would help her. She would have to just say, oh, it's doing great, and people are working, and it's an easy lie. I don't care about that. I don't care that the media or that the moderators cheated. Yeah, we knew they were going to cheat. And you know what I really don't care about? Celebrity endorsements. Celebrity endorsements are more bread and circuses crap. Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay says, she's going to go ahead and endorse Kamala Harris. I'm going to tell you right now, Taylor Swift, George Clooney, who's the crazy lesbian chick? Rosie O'Donnell. If they come from a celebrity background and they're voting, or telling you rather, to vote for Kamala Harris, they're a lying ass phony. The Obamas are lying ass phonies. Let me tell you why. Every single economic proposal that she has spewed out of her mouth would destroy these people. Ain't no celebrity making serious bank talking about giving 70, 60, 70% of their money to the government. Ain't gonna happen. There ain't politicians looking to give up 60 or 70% of their money to the government. Ain't gonna happen. There ain't a single person out there including Mark Cuban, who wants to give up 40, 45% capital gains, unrealized capital gains. It's all bull. They would never do it. It's not going to happen. You know how I know that? Same way you should know that. The reason why they will never do it, because they've never done it. You see, like I've said many times, there is nothing in our United States tax code that says you can't just give more money to the government. At any time, any one of them, hey, Tay-Tay, you just made a couple $1 million on your last show, just go ahead and give Uncle Sam, here's 5, 10, 20 million. I don't need it. I'm sitting comfortably. Nope, she hasn't done it. How do you know she hasn't done it? I invite any celebrity who happens upon this video, I invite any celebrity that gets forwarded this video to post your tax return. Put your money where your ass is. Let me see on your tax return where you didn't take advantage of conservative economic policy. I challenge every single one of them. Tay-Tay, George Clooney, the Obamas, prove you're not full of shit, excuse my language, because I know unless you put your tax return out there and let people see that you're just paying all this money to the government, don't stand there and tell me I got to pay a big, huge, unrealized capital gains tax. Don't tell the American people that they got to pay 40, 50, 60% of their money to the government if you're not. It's the biggest crock there is out there. I'm sick of it. And by the way, I think Tay-Tay has like 3 jets. I think Mark Cuban has 5 jets. When y'all stop flying these Boeing 747s as your personal aircraft, then you can talk to me about climate change. But until you do that, I'm going to call you phony. Whenever you see, do you understand that Taylor Swift has a Boeing 747? Not even just like a Lear jet. She's got a friggin' 747. Zipping around the world doing her shows and wherever else she wants to go. Fan-flippin-tastic. I applaud Tay-Tay. You made it, girl. You're making money. You're just killing it. I believe wholeheartedly you deserve every friggin' dime that your wiggling butt can get out there and garner. But don't tell me, and don't tell other Americans that you support a candidate that is trying to take 40, 50, 60, 70% of your dollars. I ain't buying it. You have to be a special kind of idiot to think that these celebrities are following or even are encouraged to follow the BS that Kamala Harris is saying. You gotta be brighter than that. You absolutely have to know that people are forward-thinking liberals and closet conservatives when it comes to their money. Absolutely. The girl gets woman gets $15,000 to $3,000 a ticket for a show. Good. I hope you make $1 billion. But until you show me that you've spent 70% of that to the government, I'm going to call you a big-ass phony wiggling liar. And I don't mean to just signal out her, but everybody made a big, big splash when, oh my God, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. Yeah, all of her 17-year-old crazy fans. So what? So friggin' what? Well, she might have a legion of, orcs that'll go ahead and vote. Okay, prove it. Last time she did it, didn't turn out well. Well, here we go again. But there's another issue that Trump wins on, that RFK Jr. wins on, that Elon Musk wins on, that Kamala can't even discuss. She can't even get up to bat to talk about this issue. No one in the Democrat Party can get up to bat and talk about this issue. So when you talk to me about who won or lost the debate, you also have to look at the stuff that wasn't in the debate. Because if it wasn't in the debate, that's because they didn't want it discussed, as if people don't have it on their minds. That thing that people are interested in and enraged about is 300,000 missing kids. Is what happened over in that island that they were procuring kids for. Nobody wants to talk about that. It's like it just went away. It's in the ether. I don't even see most YouTubers talking about it. I do a lot of research. And I look to see, what are these people talking about? Oh, they're talking about fluff. They're talking about the shit that the news said this, the news said that. I'm like, well, why aren't you talking about the stuff that the news doesn't talk about, man? Where are these 300,000 kids? And that's just what we know of. You and I, who grew up from the 70s and 80s, I mentioned it before, you look on the milk carton, oh, where's this kid? I don't know. Nobody talk about it? Nope. Nobody on the news talking about it? Nope. Remember Adam Walsh? He was the one person who said, hey man, somebody took my kid, did this and that to them, and then, what happened to Adam Walsh's kid? What happened to him? Why isn't he out there stomping and say, hey man, you guys need to understand, this is what's happening to these kids? Jim Caviezel, loved his show, The Person of Interest. Loved that show. To me, I think that was an expose on the deep state. He does the movie. Song of Freedom, Sound of Freedom, Song of Freedom. I went there, cried like a baby. They tried to kill it. Don't show that movie. Oh, we can't have that in movie theaters. Oh, if people see that, oh, what? I can go watch people blowing each other's face off at any movie theater I want. I can watch John Wick reloading and shooting 1,000 different people. I can watch drug deals, but I can't talk about this. Why can't we talk about this? What prevents us from talking about what happened in that movie and those kids? It's what's not in the debate. It's what they won't talk about. That's what you need to focus on. That's what you need to understand is really important in this country. It could happen to somebody you know. It may have already happened to somebody you know. And your entire government won't even acknowledge, never mind fix it, they won't even acknowledge that it's even happening. Remember, there's a woman sitting in jail for procuring kids for Johns, and not a single one of the people that she procured the kid for, never mind have never been charged, they've never been named. Never been named. We don't even know who these people are. They may be walking amongst us, they may be in the government, they may be in the media, but they never talk about it. That should bother you. You see, that being these issues that the media doesn't talk about are way more important than the issues that they do talk about. And the only person talking about those issues, like my intro, is that one man. That one man, like the intro says, is Donald Trump. You need to tell your friends that. And that's why they fear RFK Jr., Elon Musk, and Trump coming together. And I would say even Vivek to the certain point of that. They know that if those guys get in, they've already said it, we're taking down the deep state. That's what they're afraid of. They're not afraid of Trump doing X, Y, or Z. They don't care about all this. He's going to do what? He's going to expose us. And now he's got the nephew and and son of one of the other two of the other guys. Oh shit! We can't make this happen. We got to do something. Well, the first thing we need to do is tell the media, don't ever talk about it. And you listen to that. And I sit, because you don't have to, and I watch even Fox. And I flip through these different shows. And I'm like, why is no one ever discussing something so major about like this? What would this government look like? What would happen in this country if you found out that prominent celebrities, government officials, candidates have been involved in the thing that would make you so angry you'd want to see these people face the guillotine? What would happen to the balance of power in Congress if you found out X person, Y person were doing something to these kids? And I'm telling you right now, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. See, that's why this is the third rail. This is the third rail because I think it crosses party lines. So at this point, they have to align a certain way because it's like, hey man, if I go down, you go down. If I go down, he goes down. She goes down. Oh yeah, she goes down. I go down. And so here's the pact. We'll just never talk about this. And we need to get rid of Trump. You ever thought why they say, oh, we need to get Trump out of here so we can go back to how things were? We need to get the conservative party back to being conservative. You mean a party that doesn't want to talk about the stuff that the media doesn't cover? All these newspapers, all these television stations, everything. You have to begin focusing on the things that they're not talking about, because those are the things that are most important to Americans. That's why I think Donald Trump, he just didn't win. He won to the point where now they have to do everything. I saw yesterday that somebody purchased a $1.8 million bet on Polymarket, specifically to try and throw those numbers off. Throw it back in so looks like she's in the lead. They are doing everything. There's no such thing as an October surprise. Don't worry about an October surprise. We know it's going to happen. You know why? Because it's just more cheating. It's more deflection. Don't focus on this. Don't look here. Look at here. Look what we found. Oh, Trump slept with 12 kids. And make everything up. We need to understand as Americans that we're being lied to by our government. We're being lied to by our media. We're even being lied to by a lot of YouTubers. We're being lied to everywhere you turn because they're lies of omission. Once you understand the term lie of omission, you are going to realize that people do not have your best interest at heart, and they don't have your family's best interest at heart. So I'm going to show you something that happened, and I'll take some comments in a second, in regards to the debate and why I can say what I'm saying. This is the newest polling data, and this is from NBC News. Harris-Trump debate nabs more than 67 million viewers. That's huge. That's really huge. I'm going to scroll down here to show you what I find the most important. Let me just highlight this. Nielsen said, that didn't highlight the way I wanted. Let me go ahead and see if this will do it. And boom, there's my yellow. Okay, I want you to read that. Nielsen said that more than 6.4 million of those viewers, or less than 10% were ages 18 to 34. Another 16.8 million, okay, and you take that and you say that's about 25%, were 35 to 54. However, viewers 55 and over made up the largest share with more than 41.3 million people tuning in. 41.3 million. That's nearly 70% of the views of the debate went to people 55 and older. Not the impressionable young minds, the old people like us. One of the guys that follows us, he always calls us the fog, the friggin' old guys. It was all old people watching this thing. Like, I consider myself in the old group. Not old, but in the older group. What do you think people 55 and older are looking for? You think they care about Tay-Tay? Nah. You think they care about George Clooney? Nah. They're looking for economic data, immigration, national security, and they're probably looking at 300,000 kids missing. 55 and older means that it was mature audiences. These were older people, more established, probably in business, looking at the capital gains thing. So when you hear that 70% of the audience were people over 55, that should tell you another thing as to why the media is lying to you and why they have to lie to you and why they have to prop her up. 70 friggin' percent of the televised audience were over 55. Let me ask you a question. And I want you to answer this clearly. Anybody else tell you that information? You hear that being talked about on any other channel? That 70% of the people who watch the debate, who are those people? Well, those people are you. I know the demographics of my audience. That's you. And you and your friends and who you grew up with, those are the people who watch that debate. So you can look at your circle of people and go, yeah, that person really doesn't care about Tay-Tay. And that person probably doesn't give too much about what, George Clooney thinks. And that person that I know that I'm friends with, that I go on the golf course with or play pickleball with, they're probably not looking to give up, 50, 60, 70% of their money or do, 44+% in capital gains, unrealized capital gains. They're people like you. So when you're watching the debate and you're like, well, I'm not interested. I'm not going to change my mind on divorce. I'm not going to change my mind on climate change. She can have that. So when all the media was like, oh, she got him here, she got him there, I'm like, who cares? I don't care. I don't care. Oh, he's eating cats. He's being ridiculous. Don't care. Why were they here? Why are they taking over apartment complexes in Colorado? Why did the next day the governor of Ohio call out the National Guard and state police to go in Springfield? Media doesn't want to talk about that. And then you get to this, which is the newest poll. Now, this isn't my polling show. My polling shows are on Friday. But I just, as you hear the people in the news talking about the polling data, wanted to show you, oh, she's ahead in polls. She's ahead. Oh, she's up by 1.3% nationally, which, as I've told you, means absolutely dog squat. Notice anything about these polls when they came out and said that she's leading in the numbers after the debate? I keep pointing this out to you guys. Tell me what you see or what you don't see. Well, what I see is that there's only one poll that was taken and reported after the debate. One single poll. That's it. I'll go over this tomorrow in depth, but as you can see, these are the major polling services, and still some of these people haven't updated anything in weeks. They're lying to you over and over and over. And before I close, and I'm going to take some comments from you guys as well, so don't go anywhere. But it's amazing because when you look at something, when you watch the debate, it's almost like you can see that they're obfuscating. They're trying their best not to talk about stuff that people really care about. So it's easy for the people who care about the stupid shit to say that Kamala Harris won. Okay, so let me show you how a debate should actually work, what you should do. What you should do is say, okay, if people are out there, like this is from Statista, if people are out there categorizing what people really care about, number one, the economy, inflation, and pricing. 2, immigration. 3, baby removal. 4, taxes. 5, crime. If those are your top 5 issues of the day, if that's what people care about, why aren't you focusing almost the entirety of a 90-minute debate on the shit that people actually care about? Why would you go down here and talk about, oh, well, look at healthcare. It's the last friggin' thing. Well, why were we even talking about that? Why not focus just on the top? Did you hear much talk about taxes? Which they're saying she's ahead with taxes? Really? Okay. But you see it. You can see clearly what people actually care about. If you care that big, understand about the economy, inflation, and prices, doubles number 2. It is twice the amount of people care about the economy and inflation. If more than twice your audience, if your audience, 2 times, the biggest issue to people in your audience by over 2 times is the economy, why didn't you just focus on that for like half an hour or 45 minutes? Why even bring up baby removal? That's hers. We'll give it to you, okay? Your clowns out there want it. We don't. Nothing to talk about. All right, since we're not talking about that because we know where we stand, why don't we just talk about these top 2 almost exclusively? Let's have a debate where we're just going to talk about this. They choose not to. They just don't want to talk about the stuff that Americans actually care about. Another poll came out. Breaking, Reuters reports undecided voters swing for Trump post-debate. Out of their 10-member panel, 6 say Trump, 3 say Harris, and 1 remains unsure. That's 60-40. Okay. And then Charlie Kirk says this as well. We will not allow this department to be used as a political weapon. We will not allow this nation to become a country where law enforcement is treated as an apparatus of politics. And he writes, who wants to tell him? They're doing it. And I just wanted you guys all to see this stuff because I think it's important to put things in proper perspective. Who won the debate? Well, it depends on the issues. And if it's the issues that people care about, then Trump won handily. She couldn't even get up to bat with those issues. She can't talk about immigration. She can't talk about the economy. She can't do it. She can't talk about national security. There's wars all over the world. So when someone tells you, hey, Kamala won the debate, you should just tell them, even if they're your friends or coworkers, what exactly did she win on? Ask them. Oh, make them do this. Make them do the RCA dog thing. Like, oh, really? She won? What did she win on? And let them tell you. And if they start saying, well, she zapped him and she got him and you go, girl. Which issue did she win on? It's very simple. If they can even remember the issue. I said I was going to come back to this because there was the initial question. I don't know if you even remember, because most people aren't going to remember Monday. Tonight's the Miami Dolphins plays the Buffalo Bills in the first NFL game of the week. And then between Friday and Saturday, it's nothing but college football, hundreds of thousands of people. And then Sunday, the second week of the NFL season, is in full. By the time Monday comes around, this debate is out of people's mind. That's why they're making such a big push to try and tell you she won. And when no one's asking, what did she win on? Even Karl Rove is out there saying stuff about Trump lost and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, what did he lose on? Did he lose on abortion? So, he was going to lose on abortion. Did he lose on climate change? So, he was going to lose on climate change. What about the other stuff? And then, what about the deep state destruction that we all want? We don't want to be living under censorship. We don't want to see kids being, who knows what's happened to them. What about those issues? Do you think she won on that? That's my show about the debate. Debates don't win elections. Exactly. She has no substance. Yep, you are correct. She won on stupidity, flash, yeah, good-looking woman, smiling. Kamala is a Sanskrit word meaning lotus. It is used as a feminine name in Indian culture, predominantly Hindu. She lied. Exactly. Evil deep state is going down soon. That is the biggest thing. I'm telling you right now, that's the biggest thing. Don't trust the Fox poll. No. Put one of those items on that poll until you grow the balls to do it. Okay, what do you think about 300,000 children missing and the exploitation of young children and women? What percentage of... You'll never see it on a poll because they are pulled by the same puppet strings as CNN and MSNBC. From now on, from this day on, I want you to focus on what you find important and what they are omitting. Just keep that into your mind. Because if you keep focused on that, what they are saying versus what they are omitting that you actually care about. I have to feel that 55 and up, you care about security, financial and basically national security. Eating cats, eating dogs, whatever. I don't care. Fact of the matter is, let's boil it down. Boil it down to the fact that there's 20,000 people that you're stuck in this city. That's the issue. That's what people care about. I get angry when I hear this stuff. Where are those kids? I don't know. Don't know. We all have ideas, and we know what's going. I don't even like discussing it because people upstairs don't like it. Robin gets freaked out about it, but this guy just got arrested, and I shouldn't have brought it up because the details are so horrific. The stuff I can tell you is this guy took Viagra before he went after this 2-year-old little girl and filmed the entire thing. That should make your blood run cold and the hair just stand up on end. And it won't be covered by a single major media outlet. The judge was crying when he heard the evidence. Where's our humanity going if people can't protect the most vulnerable people in America? When is enough enough, man? When is enough enough? I said it last time I did a video. I couldn't show it because it was under copyright, but the movie network is like, you got to get to a point where you're mad as hell and you ain't gonna take anymore. That's how we fix America. That's how we finally say, you know what? We're done with this. We're done talking about BS. We want to take our country back. And Donald, RFK, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek are going to shred what they consider most important to them. Most important to the Democrats and the liberals and some rhinos is controlling you. Here's a few extra dollars. Oh, the inflation went up a couple percent. But BS. Understand, you have not lived in a free America in quite some time. I have not lived in a free America in quite some time. What would your life be like if you could truly prosper and live the life that you want to live? That's what they've taken from us, because of some things that happened over the last 24 years that we just observed. They let us get beat. They let us get beat. Their way of life is still the same. If you've never flown on a private jet, you open your eyes. Maybe one day you'll get to fly in a private jet, but guess what? You ain't got to go through no magnetometers and strip down to your underwear and get felt up by some people. You show up, you say hi, you get your food, you drink, you get on the plane, you go. They don't live the way you live. I remember my first private charter. Actually, it was not my first, because I've flown on private charters dozens of times for football. But you don't go through that stuff. So you little people, we little people out here, and our entire way of life has changed since September 11th, 2001. These idiots just didn't destroy those buildings and kill 3,000 or 4,000 people. They killed the American way of life. Nobody talks about that anymore. Do you remember what it was like to fly before September 11th? It's funny, my wife loves TCM. She watches old movies all the time. I've seen some of these old movies over and over and over again. And they'll show movies where people flying. And what's funny is they're on the airplane, they're drinking, they're smoking, right on the airplane. Just walk up, just walk out. I'm like, kids watch that and go, what's that? Is that fantasy? People can just get on an airplane and go? Yeah, just get on an airplane and go. We didn't like change our way of life and have to go through script searches to get on a friggin' plane. You take a 2-hour flight. I went to see my daughter in Raleigh, and you have an hour and a half of just getting ready. Luckily, we bought the Clear and the TSA bundle, which at that point you have to give them all your data, fingerprint, eye scan, all kinds, just to get on a friggin' plane. I just want to go see my daughter and grandkids, and I got to do this and the butt search and everything else. Our way of life was impugned. And you're telling me in 23 years since 2001, yesterday was the big anniversary, 23 years. In 23 years, you're telling me our government, our deep state, hasn't been able to revert air travel back to a comfortable experience. I find that hard to believe. I think that's what they want in every aspect of our lives. I think they want to look through your shit. Oh, what you got in here? Oh, you got some stuff in here. I want to be in the Jetsons. I want to be George Jetson. I want stuff to fly by. Gun, done. Get on the plane. Why aren't we there yet? Why is the media okay with us having to do strip search to get on a friggin' plane? Is nobody even reporting on that? You're telling me the technology isn't there yet where we could like walk through some sort of tube with our bags and it goes... You don't think AI can say, oh, this guy, here's his history, we checked everything, he's good. How is AI supposed to be good for this country if we can't use it for the shit we need it to use? I don't need it to make cat memes. I need it to make sure, how do I run my business? Hey, do this, blah, 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 blah. How do I travel? Blah, 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 blah. Here's your best hotel within 20 miles of your daughter. Okay, boom, done. I got to get out of here because at 4:30 we have Donald Trump's doing a rally in Tucson. So y'all need to come back, suck all this in, understand what we've been talking about today. We got a 4:30 rally with the guy who actually won the debate. I need y'all to come back. And then tonight, everything we've gone through and everything we're going to go through, we have our prayer meeting at 7:30. I forget, 7 or 7:30. I want you to come on back to that. Before I go, as always, let's go ahead and recognize the people who are, I know it. I have something else to tell you. And this weekend, we are going to do that. I just gave away a trip to Fort Lauderdale, or South Florida, a couple days ago, as you know. We're opening our store in a couple days next week. And so the other thing that's coming is Friday, the 27th of September. Tucker Carlson's tour comes here through Fort Lauderdale. And guess what? We're going to fly some people down to come down to Tucker's show. John Rich is playing. And if you guys are going to do that, I'm probably going to launch that on Saturday's rally. So stay tuned for that. So let me get through this real quick. Phyllis Bird, thank you very much. Kamtu Nagayan. I agree. Thank you. Sharon says Midas is so cute. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis Doherty, remind your elected officials that George Orwell's book was a warning, not an instructional manual. Pao Zhao Li, Kamala Harris rested her head on her hand because she had her head up her butt so long her neck couldn't hold it up. Lisa Burke, thank you. Very spot on. Live omission is manipulation at its finest. Kamala Liar's worded sound identical to how Hillary looks. Yeah, I asked my wife that today. I'm like, don't they have any nice people that they can run on the Democrat side? I mean, seriously. I don't know why they kicked RFK Jr. to the curb. I think he would have had a real good chance of winning. But you don't like nice people. You put up people like the Obamas. You put up people like Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, Hillary. These are people like, yeah, I don't know. Mark of Realty. I'm 54 and the 55 and over crowd is not a group that's easily fooled, but there are a lot of old fools out there, but they aren't engaged in politics. Agreed. Anthony Solomon says a lot about our country when a baby removal is the third most important issue. Kaya says, during the debate, I thought he did fine. Then I watched YouTubers and I saw how they dumped on Trump and demoralized folks. Democrats never do that. That's exactly what I am saying. It's easy to get on YouTube and say, oh, this happened, that happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and that's why he lost. But if you break it down, I used to play football. I used to coach football. I used to do a Miami Dolphins channel. I would break down plays and say, okay, on this first down, this guy blew this block, which caused this, and this guy threw a touchdown, blah, blah, blah. When you break it down like you're watching film at a game in a sport, you're like, okay, this play here. Okay, well, maybe the abortion thing is moot. We'll give her climate change. She performed well there. And I'm not looking at the actions, the reactions, and all the smirks. What did you actually say? And when you look at it that way, and you step back, Trump won. It's very simple. But they won't tell you that. They won't tell you that. So I got an hour till the rally. And I hope you guys show up for it. I'm going to get out of here, grab something to eat, take this dog out. Thank you for tuning in. As always, greatly appreciated.